In 1985, on May the 13th, the Philadelphia Police Department rocked a West Philadelphia neighborhood, killing 6 adults and 5 children, along with burning almost an entire neighborhood to the ground, shocking the community and the world with what can only be described as a completely unnecessary escalation and use of tactics. This is the time the Philadelphia police shocked the world. In order to understand this story in its entirety, we first have to cover the history of an organisation called MOVE. MOVE was an organisation founded in 1972 in Philadelphia, United States, by Vincent Leopold, later known as John Africa. MOVE was a revolutionary, non-violent political organisation believing in natural law, combined in revolutionary ideology with work for animal rights, believing all living things should be treated equal. In the early 1970s, a social worker named Donald Glassy met John Africa, and after hearing his philosophy, Donald offered to transcribe John Africa's ideas, this becoming the guidelines for the organisation. In 1974, the organisation moved into a 3-storey Victorian house, 309 North 33rd Street, later on acquiring 307 North 33rd Street. These houses would become MOVE's headquarters and base of operations for various protests and demonstrations. MOVE members would fan out across the city from these houses to various locations to protest and demonstrate where MOVE felt natural law was in jeopardy, like pet stores, zoos, political rallies and speaker forums. According to police reports, in 1975, MOVE demonstrated 38 times, resulting in 142 arrests and 61 court appearances. The MOVE organisation did have a few neighbour problems at this address, some making complaints to city officials of threats from the MOVE members. Not helping this, MOVE would take in a lot of stray and injured dogs, over time accumulating a pack of dogs freely roaming around.
The first big problem we had was the raw meat that they kept outside. It was a big, you could imagine a big tin of raw bloody meat sitting outside of your house.
The mayor of Philadelphia at the time, Frank Lazaro Rizzo, a former police commissioner from 1968 to 1971 and mayor from 1972 to 1980, regarded MOVE as a terrorist organisation and was determined to remove them using any excuse to put pressure on the organisation and its members.
It's amazing that this group has been running loose now for a half a dozen, couple, 3, 4 years that I know of, and they should have been in prison many, many months ago.
On May 20th, 1977, health inspectors turned up to the MOVE house to conduct an inspection on the property, but were met by members of MOVE in jumpsuits and berets holding rifles. This incident was non-violent and ended peacefully, but after that, MOVE barricaded themselves inside the property, while Philadelphia police set up 24-hour surveillance around the MOVE houses. After 10 months, Mayor Rizzo obtained an order from the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas on March 1, 1978, to blockade the house. They cut the water supply and stopped anyone from resupplying the houses. Residents living within the blockade were escorted to and from their houses. On May 3, 1978, Mayor Rizzo reluctantly agreed to a compromise that the MOVE members would surrender their weapons, allow an inspection and leave by August 1st, and in return, the Philadelphia police would not arrest anyone who did not have an arrest warrant issued, and that the trials of jailed MOVE members would be extradited. August 1st came and MOVE stayed put, leading to a judge issuing warrants for the arrests of the adults within the house. August 8, 1978, the Philadelphia Police Department towed parked cars out of the way before through a bullhorn ordering MOVE to vacate the premises. Move stayed where they were, so the Philadelphia Police Department used a bulldozer to smash through wooden barricades made by Move. Following that, they used a cherry picker to knock out the wooden slats on the windows of the house and then flooded the house with thousands of gallons of water. This resulted in a gun battle in which police officer James Ramp was killed, with 2 other police officers and 3 firefighters being injured. The siege ended when police used tear gas, forcing Move to surrender. Police dragging and beating Move member Delbert Africa severely, the beating being caught on film by a Philadelphia Inquirer reporter. 12 adults were arrested and 11 children removed. The house left in rubble in the aftermath of the 1978 siege. Move members to this day say that Officer Ramp wasn't shot by them and instead was shot by his own colleagues, either by accident or on purpose, in order to frame Move members, stating that the media at the time were saying he was shot on a downward angle and they were hiding in the basement. They say that the police destroyed the house to make sure there was no evidence left. In May 1980, 9 Move members are convicted for the murder of James Ramp. Chuck, Delbert, Eddie, Jeanette, Janine, Merle, Michael, Phil and Debbie Africa, the 9 now known as the Move 9, convicted to 30 to 100 years in jail. All the police officers involved in the filmed beating of Delbert Africa were charged but later acquitted of all charges. In 1981, the Move organisation acquired a house at 6221 Osage Avenue, West Philadelphia, this becoming their new home and base of operations from then on. Neighbours complained about some confrontations with Move members and about the political views on the speakers Move had placed all around the house, but apart from that, residents and Move members got along and helped each other. In 1985, the Philadelphia Police Department issued arrest warrants for 4 Move members for things like violating parole, contempt of court and making terrorist threats. Mayor at the time, Wilson Good, and Police Commissioner Gregor J. Sambor continued former Mayor Rizzo's views on the Move organization, labeling them a terrorist organization, showing that the Philadelphia Police Department and the city mayor still wanted to remove the Move organization from Philadelphia. On Monday, the 19th of May 1985, almost 500 police officers, along with city manager Leo Brooks, arrived to execute the arrest warrants, none of the Move members having any idea what was about to happen. The police evacuated nearby houses, stating to the residents of those houses they would be back in 24 hours.
The police at our door, they're saying, get out, you have to evacuate. We're going to have a police action here on your block. Just take a change of clothes. We're going to protect your belongings. You'll be back in 24 hours. If you don't leave, you're going to be arrested.
They then cut the water and electricity as Police Commissioner Sambor announced, "Attention Move, this is America, you have 15 minutes to come out." The Move members stayed inside and the police then decided to forcibly remove them from the house. In the house there were 7 adults and 6 children. All of the Move members had moved to the basement of the house when the police threw tear gas at and in the house and started to flood the house with water like they had in 1978. They blew a hole in the house next to the Move house to try and get through. After that, the Move members tried to get out, but the police shot them back in. A 90-minute standoff started in which the Philadelphia Police Department used over 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Police even mistaking their own gunfire for gunfire from Move and shooting back at it. Then, after a long period of silence, despite using enough ammunition to win a small war, Police Commissioner Sambor ordered for the police to drop a bomb. Lieutenant Frank Powell dropped a 1-pound Tovex bomb supplied by the FBI. Tovex is a replacement for dynamite. tug in a cubicle bunker on the roof of the Move household. Move member Ramona Africa said they felt the house shake when the bomb went off, and quickly the house started to fill with smoke. The bomb had caused a fire, and quickly the fire spread around the house and also to the neighbours' houses. All the Move members then decided to try and get them and the children out of the house again. They started shouting at the police, "They are coming out and bringing the children," and again the police fired at them. Ramona Africa grabbed a child called Michael Ward, aka Birdie, and managed to get out without being shot. Police then grabbed and arrested Ramona Africa and took Birdie away. The police left the fire to burn for an hour and a half, making the decision to not fight the fire and let it burn before letting firefighters tackle the blaze. 61 houses and almost the entire neighbourhood stood burning in the night sky. 5 children and 6 adults died in the house, Ramona and Birdie the only survivors. Ramona was then sentenced to 16 months to 7 years and ended up doing all 7 years. And that is the time Philadelphia shocked the world. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for much more just like this.